Hello there, Michaelers. It's Pearl Jr. here, getting ready to do probably the most anticipated video that I have been promising for a long time. And I never wanted to really dissect Michael Jackson's last will and testament or his trust in a long time. I just didn't want to do it when the kids were minors because there's serious ambiguity in that. And what ambiguity means, it means that it can mean two different things. Things can mean two different things. By the end of this video, I figured out why Michael made it very ambiguous, okay, and not straightforward, crystal clear. And I guess that will support what I'll just tell you guys now. I believe that the reason why Michael was ambiguous in this will and trust is because he's not dead. And since he's not dead, he didn't want anybody to think that they were a slam dunk winner to get his money, okay? And it's a way of keeping people in check. Okay, so if you thought that you were a shoo-in and you were going to get the money 100%, you might act a fool. You might not have as much respect for the money. You might be able to be influenced negatively by an outsider because they want you to get the money as soon as you can and they want some of the money. So Michael was, I believe, very ambiguous on purpose in his will and in his trust. Okay. Before we get started, yesterday with the bombshell with the LAPD detective who watched the Michael Jackson autopsy, who said the body looked nothing like him. Didn't look nothing like him. He said, I'm sitting there looking at him going, this don't look like Michael Jackson. And that was him saying that 10 years later. Okay, so even though maybe at the time he wasn't a Michael Jackson follower and he didn't know what he recently looked like, but in the last 10 years, he knows what Michael Jackson looks like. And it's probably been going round and around and around in his head that wasn't Michael Jackson's body. You know, because we all saw Michael's body 12 hours earlier in This Is It. So we know what he looked like, okay? So anyway, anybody who doubted who Dan Myers is, this is from the Travel Channel. This is from the world's most, what's it called? The world's most unexplained. That's the name of the show. See right there, Dan Myers. That's Dan Myers. Here he is in 2011 on a TMZ article with Martinez and Dr. Metzger, who gave Michael propofol a long time ago, and Dr. Sherilyn Lee, who I know and met. But anyway, so this is the same guy, okay? This is the same guy. All right, so there's no confusion that this guy is totally legitimate. And if he says the body didn't look nothing like Michael Jackson, he knows in his heart of hearts that dead body was not Michael Jackson's, because we know what Michael Jackson looks like. It wasn't Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is not dead. Okay, so let's move on to the will. All right, this is just so you guys know that I got the will directly from the estate. This is a lawsuit that I told you guys about a month ago. And, of course, we know the estate of Michael Joseph Jackson, deceased. That's not his name. His name is Michael Joe Jackson. We know that, right? All right. So this is from Bruce Watson, who had said he wanted to do genetic testing. Remember? Because he said he was a child of Michael Jackson's and he requested genetic testing. Of course, the estate refused because the estate is not going to open up Forest Lawn's crypt because it's empty and nothing's in there. Well, in this lawsuit, in this response that the estate did, they went ahead and they attached Michael Jackson's last will and testament. So you guys know that it's directly from the estate, okay? So this page, I posted this page and nobody pointed this out. Okay, there's only one initial here, only one initial. When you initial something, that means you're in agreement to it. That means that you agree that this is so true. You are agreeing, okay, that what's typewritten is true. he did not initial any other paragraphs, right? And the most important paragraph that he didn't initial, he says that I declare I am not married. My marriage to Debbie Jean Rowe Jackson has been dissolved. I have 3 children now living. Prince Michael Jackson Jr., Paris Michael Catherine Jackson, and Prince Michael Joseph Jackson II. And I have no other children living or deceased. Why didn't he initial that? Okay, in agreement that he has children. Okay, well, number one, the name game again. It's all in the name. It's all in the game, right? Prince Michael Jackson Jr. Who is that? Okay, his name is Michael Joseph Jackson Jr., right? So that's wrong. And then Prince Michael Joseph Jackson Jr. is Prince Michael Jackson II, right? That's BG. Okay, so why are the boys' names wrong? Paris's name is supposed to be correct, okay? But why are the boys' names wrong? Why didn't he just have them fix it? I'm not going to sign it until you fix it, right? Fix my kid's name. He did not, okay? That's ambiguity, okay? How are they going to prove that, yeah, that he means me? That's who he means, right? Well, if he meant you, why didn't he initial it, right? So then you go to this one. Okay, well, you know, everybody, there's a such thing as a Michael Jackson Family Trust. We're going to get to that in a second. Barry Siegel, John Bronk, and John McClain were supposed to be the co-executors of the estate. Barry Siegel, he withdrew, and here is his withdrawal paper is up here. Okay, his withdrawal is, maybe it's the other way. Okay, it's the other way. Barry Siegel resigned here it is right here, in August 26, 2003. He resigned. He didn't want to be. He says, the Understein hereby advises that that he declines to act as co-executor of the Michael Jackson Family Trust and as a co-executor of the last will of Michael Joseph Jackson. Barry Siegel. Okay, they added, this is in there. Okay, so let's go back to here. Okay. And it's not a very long will. All right. So the crazy part about this will, crazier, see, he starts initialing everything, right? Now he's initialing everything. Okay. Why didn't he initial this other stuff? Why? I give my entire estate to the trustee or trustees under the amended and restated Declaration of Trust executed March 22nd, 2002. All right. Michael, by me as trustee and trustor, which is called the Michael Jackson Family Trust. Okay, got it. All right. So we're going to go through that in a minute. And he mentions that amended and restated March 22nd, 2002. Now, this one is the one that kind of got me a little crazy. Okay, it's number 6. Where is it? It's here. Okay. Except as otherwise provided in this will or in the trust referred to in the Article 3 hereof, I have intentionally omitted to provide for my heirs. What? Heirs are your children. What do you mean you have intentionally omitted to provide for your heirs? What? I have intentionally omitted to provide for my former wife, Debbie Jean Rowe Jackson. So by putting them both in the paragraph, is he saying the children that are supposed to be hers are the heirs that he has purposely, intentionally omitted to provide for his heirs? It's just really, really strange. And he initialed that paragraph, right? He initialed that. Okay. So then you want to know who's in the Jackson Family Trust, right? And then his name is wrong. Okay. And then he signed his name right here wrong. And then July 7th, 2002 is when he signed it, right? But July 5th and 6th and 8th, we know that we have video, well, the 6th and the 8th, we have video proof that Michael was not in Los Angeles, because here it says that he was in Los Angeles, okay, right here, July 7, 2002, 5 p.m., Los Angeles. See that? Los Angeles. Michael was in New York that weekend, and that was early on in 2009, 2010. The family was going, this will is fraudulent, because my brother was not here in Los Angeles. He was in New York with Al Sharpton at a convention where there's video proof. Okay? So he was there the 6th and the 8th. Did he fly home on the 7th or with a small child? You got to remember, BG was born in 2002. He was born February 2002. So March, April, May, June, July, a 5-month-old, he's going to, I'm just saying, it'd be easier to have those 3 fly to New York, right? Fly to New York. So Barry Siegel didn't want any parts of this. Like a little bit over a year later, 13 months later, he didn't want any parts of this, 13 and a half months later, okay? Now, and Michael signed the bottom of this page too, okay? And this is supposed to be notarized, right? So he's signing stuff that's not in his real name, and the boys' names are not correct, and he's not initialing paragraphs, and it's saying I officially omitted to provide for my heirs. My God. You know, Michael, you should have just said, I leave everything that I have to my children and have their names correct. And you initial it, right? You initial it, right? You initial it. This is why I didn't want to talk about it, because some fans may not like it. But here's the more ambiguity, okay? Now, it says, who are the members of the Jackson Family Trust, right? Okay, everybody that, oops, where is it? Okay, right here. Okay, here. Okay. So the kids, is naming everybody that's named in this document. So we know John Bronca, John McClain, Barry Siegel. Catherine is a beneficiary under the Michael Jackson Family Trust. She's the guardian. Okay. And then it has them, their name's wrong again. Prince Michael Jackson Jr. Who was that? His name is Michael Joseph Jackson Jr., which is crazy because Michael's name is Michael Joe Jackson. So it's all just so weird. So, just so crazy. Michael Jackson under their beneficiaries under the Michael Jackson Family Trust, right? But in order to omit to provide for heirs, you have to name them, right? But are they, and then there is something that I need to explain to you guys, okay? In the state of, Debbie Rowe just gave guardianship, custody of Paris and Prince to Michael, okay? They got married in Australia. So if a child was conceived, whether they're blood or not, during an American, a United States official marriage, then whether that child is your child biologically or not, it is considered your child under marriage laws, okay? But Debbie Rowe and Michael got married in Australia. Right? They got married in Australia. And I looked. I couldn't find anything that said that they were married here. I found a divorce filing, but it's the craziest thing, right? It's the craziest thing. So I found a divorce filing, and check this out, guys, okay? Well, anyway, let me go here. Don't let me forget divorce filing. Okay, and then he named Debbie. Oh, oops, here we go. Divorce filing. Don't let me forget. Okay. So then, so we have Prince's wrong name. Paris's name is supposed to be correct. And then we have BG's wrong name. And then we have Debbie Rowe, her name, and Diana Ross is mentioned in there. So is Catherine. Diana Ross, because if Catherine didn't want to take care of the kids, Michael nominated Diana Ross to be the guardians of the children, right? So, and this Michael Joseph Jackson, deceased, okay, and other members of the Jackson Family Trust are Lavelle Jackson, beneficiary, Elijah, Anthony, Taj, Terrell, and TJ, okay, of the trust. Now, why would he put TJ instead of Tito Joseph Jr. or, Jackson Jr. or whatever TJ's name is, okay? I think it's Tito Joseph or something. Okay, because his dad's name is Terriano. All right. So anyway, so it's just all just so bizarre, just so crazy. And these are cousins. Okay, these are cousins. Okay. So then if I go to, let me do this. I saved Debbie Rowe. I should have had this up. I'm so sorry. Debbie Rowe divorce. Okay, let me look for here. And the Debbie Rowe divorce, I just remembered that right now, to be honest with you guys. I had forgot while I was preparing. Okay, so Debbie Rowe, okay, divorce. Okay, I saved the actual Debbie Rowe divorce. I saved it, and oh God, I have it. 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 Lisa Marie. Oh, here we go. Debbie Rowe divorce. Okay, so it's coming up in just a second. And there's a divorce for Lisa Marie Presley too, but they got married, and in Alive 3, I proved to you guys that Lisa Marie's marriage to Michael was illegitimate. It was not real. It was in the Dominican Republic, and she needed to be divorced for 10 years and 10 months because of pregnancy, and she wasn't. She divorced her then husband, who still lived at the house with her. Like 6 weeks before Michael and her got married, and the magistrate was out of his jurisdiction, and she wasn't divorced long enough, and it was just a mess, right? So Debbie Rowe, okay, her divorce filing, okay, here's just one page. And then when I went and I looked at it, right, the whole divorce filing, hold on, let me look this up. God, I'm so sorry, I should have had this. Let me write this down, and then let me go to the actual LA court website. Okay. Michael is just so full of tricks. I mean, nothing is just simple. Nothing is simple. This is BD 3102. Okay, so let's go to LA court. Let's go to LA court. I think I'm done with this. I might need to come back to it, so let me just minimize it. Okay. So then I thought I had that saved, the Debbie Rowe. I thought I had that. Gosh. Okay, so let's go to LA court. LA court. That's a screenshot too. So let me minimize that. And let me open this. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got so close, right? So sorry, guys. Google. Okay, and then LAcourt.org. This is crazy. This is crazy. Okay, this is crazy. And I knew that, it just feels uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It just kind of feels a little weird for me to be talking about it like this, and I've refrained from doing it because it's just been just kind of a little crazy, right? So now I'm going to put in this. All right, so let's find it directly on the LA court website. Okay, so here is supposedly, oops, I'm so sorry. Zoom. There I am. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. All right, so here is the Debbie Rowe and Michael Jackson supposed divorce. Okay, it's here. Okay, Jackson Rowe, Michael Jackson, right? 10/8/1999 is when they got the dissolution of their marriage. But it says without minor children. What the heck? Without minor children? Without minor children? But Paris and Prince are born. So it's just everything. And then when you go through these pages and pages and pages of stuff, right? It has nothing to do with the divorce. This has to do with somebody named Billie Jean Jackson something, saying that she's the mother of children and she does this. None of this is the divorce. Look at this, 2006. Look. 10/8/1999, existing case, post-death position, existing case. It's nothing there. And then it goes to 2004. And then this is about some woman trying to say that she's the mother of Michael's children. I mean, I could just open up any one of these, well, I can't open it from here, but from 2006, 2007, all these hearings and stuff. And then here, all these hearings and all this. This has nothing to do with Michael and Debbie's divorce. It's everything is just out of whack. Just craziness, right? Okay, hold on. Let me go up here. Just craziness. Okay, because Lisa Marie and Michael's divorce too says without minor children. So when you go and you say, okay, I want to look at some documents. Okay, I want to look at some documents. Okay, let's just sign in as a guest, and let me put this number in here again. Uh, 276. Okay. And you look at this, and oh, they're not available electronically, but I had some, so somebody just removed some of them. Okay, but anyway, that is so bizarre. And before, I have some of this stuff saved, I think, somewhere. Okay, but it's just all just really ridiculous and crazy, right? They didn't do any documents since before 1999. So I understand why the divorce papers wouldn't be in here, because they couldn't do anything. It's like an updated system. It's too old. 22 years is too old. But this stuff here is just ridiculous. Look at all this stuff. Mona, that's it. Nona Jackson. There it is. There it is right there. Most of this stuff is about a Nona Jackson. Why is it under the Michael and Debbie's divorce papers? Dissolution means divorce. Without minor children? It's just craziness. It's just craziness. Okay, I think I have the Lisa Marie and Michael divorce too. Hold on, and it also says without minor children. Hold on, let me search that too. Here we go. Divorce. Let me just put in divorce. And because we know Michael and Lisa Marie didn't have any children, but Debbie and, okay, so let's see. Divorce, okay. Oh, her divorce from her husband was on my birthday, May 6th. It's just a coincidence. It was 20 days before Mary and Michael Jackson. So that, without a doubt, that divorce was here's Michael's the divorce papers. Anyway, so Michael's marriage to Lisa Marie was illegitimate, period. Okay. Let's say it shows that it was 20 days after divorce from Keough, Presley married singer Michael Jackson. Okay. You can't do that in the Dominican Republic because you have to be divorced for 10 months because of the time to be pregnant, right? All right, so here is this, and then here we go. The divorce, oh, that's Rowe. That's Debbie Rowe. Okay, no, not that. Where is the Lisa Marie divorce papers? I had that without minor children. Let me put in LM. Let me put Lisa Marie. Divorce filing, here it is. Okay, let's wait for it to pile up. Okay, so this is the Lisa Marie and Michael Jackson divorce. Okay, and notice with Debbie, it was Michael J. Jackson, and here is Michael Jackson. Okay, dissolution. Okay, where does it say without? Oh, here we go. There are no minor children. There are no minor children. Okay, there are no minor children. Okay. All right, but to fill this out, you guys, it's a piece of paper. You just fill it out. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that they were really married. You just fill this out and you just file it, and boom, that's it. You got a paper with a stamp on it, with a number on it, and see, dissolution of marriage. Okay, you just have a piece of paper with it, and it doesn't mean anything. Okay, it doesn't mean that they were married. It doesn't mean that somebody went and got the marriage certificate. It just means somebody filled out this piece of paper, took it down to the court clerk's office, and got it stamped. That's what that means. Okay, and then they assign it a number. If nobody shows up to court, then it's just dismissed and forgotten about. That's how it works. Okay, so he was supposed to marry her May 26th, 1994, which is and December 10th, which is my mother's birthday, coincidental, and that's when they got separated in 1995. So we go back to Debbie Rowe. Okay, we go back to Debbie Rowe. Oops, I got a lot of stuff saved. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of stuff saved. Okay. Let's see. And then Lisa, Debbie Rowe, that paper says that, here it is again. No, that's not the good one. That's not a good one. Okay. Here it is right here. Michael J. Jackson. I took this from someone else. Dissolution of marriage, Michael J. Jackson. You just file it. It doesn't mean anything. But it's just so weird that Debbie Rowe, dissolution without, it's just so odd that that would even be there, you know, without minor, oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Good thing I have a clean mouth. Okay. Yeah, see? And it's Michael J. Jackson. Okay, not Michael Joseph, not Michael Joe, Michael Jackson or Michael J. Jackson, and they just file it. You just file it. It doesn't mean that they were legally married. It doesn't mean anything, but this is just so odd. All right, so now that I've went through that, all right, so now let's go through the and I think he was ambiguous, like I said, on purpose, right? To let them know you ain't a shoe-in, this ain't yours yet. And I believe that that's another Michael, proof that Michael isn't dead. Because of the ambiguity and the wrong names on valuable, I'm talking about billion-dollar property, valuable, okay? And if Debbie wasn't married, legally married to Michael, where does that leave Prince in Paris? And what about BG? Where does that leave him? Because it says here at issue. So in the trust, okay, this is the actual trust. Okay, this is the trust that was amended and restated, and it was done in March. Michael Joseph Jackson is the trustee and trustor. Okay, Michael Joseph Jackson is the trustee and trustor. Now, that makes sense because, his name is Michael Joe Jackson, but the name of the trust is Michael Joseph Jackson, because you can't use your name when you're putting things in another ownership, right? You're putting it in the entity of the trust owned by, the Michael Joseph Jackson Trust. So Michael's playing all kinds of name games. This is not hard stuff to do. This is not like, oh my God, it was so confusing. I didn't know what to do. Oh my God. No, this is done on purpose, okay? So it was first written November 1st, 1995, but it was redacted in March, which is after Paris, Prince, and Blanket were born in 2002, right? So every single page on here is initialed with Michael's initials, okay? So he agreed to this entire document. Now, this entire document, when in 95, Paris, Prince, and Blanket weren't born, so you understand why their names are not in it, right? And he was not married to Debbie Rowe in 95 as well, right? Married to Lisa Marie Presley, right? All right, somewhere around there. Okay, so every single page is initialed in agreement, right? So he signs it, Michael Joseph Jackson, trustee, March 22nd, 2002. BG's birthday is February. So BG was just born. How come when he redacted it, he did not add in Paris, Prince's, and Blanket's names? Their names aren't in here. Their names do not appear anywhere in this document. Taj, Terrell, TJ, Elijah, Anthony, Catherine's name's in here, okay? Lavon's name is in here, but no Paris, Prince, and Blanket. So therefore, you look at where he talks about children. And they talk about children at issue, right? At issue, okay? The term child, children, and issue, as used herein, shall mean lawful issue of the trustor born after the date hereof, which it's supposed to be the date hereof. I hope it doesn't mean March. Okay, it's March 2002. It's supposed to mean 1995, I believe. And shall also include legally adopted children and issue. Okay, legally adopted. We have no proof that Paris, Prince, or BG were legally adopted. We have zero that tells us that somebody just gave Michael's kids, just gave him the kids. Debbie in 2001 signed Michael as the custodian of the kids and said she didn't want any custody of the children. Okay, so she gave that, and even if they're not Michael's biological children, and he meant something, you can't disinherit children that you're guardians of while they're minors. Okay, so we know that, but just at issue. Okay, so then we look up the definition of at issue, right? I looked it up. What does at issue mean? It means a bloodline. Okay, at issue means a bloodline. Issue, right here. A person's children or other lineal descendants, such as grandchildren or great-grandchildren. It does not mean all heirs, but only the direct bloodline. So, if Paris, Prince, and Blanket are tested and they don't have Michael's DNA, what does that mean for them? You know, and I think, and the reason why I believe this goes to support Michael isn't dead, because it's so ambiguous, it's so convoluted, and it's just I don't know, you know, I don't know if but Michael didn't sign all the death certificates. Okay, I think he signed one of the death certificates. Let's look up. I have it. And I don't think the birth certificates. I was saying death certificates. I'm bad. Okay, let's look up I have their birth certificates. Okay, birth certificate. Okay, he signed. It's so crazy. And birth certificates, I don't think it means that that's your child. Okay, I don't think so, but you know, because you can find out, there's been plenty of times where men have signed birth certificates and found out that they weren't their biological children and they weren't responsible anymore. Okay, so here's Prince's birth certificate, all right, and at least suppose it, and Prince is signed, but it's signed in the wrong name. Okay, see, Prince, this is Prince's, Michael Joseph Jackson Jr. That's not in the will or the trust. That name isn't in there. It's just all convoluted. And then he signs it Michael Joseph Jackson, father. That's not Michael's name. I mean, this is trickery on purpose. Okay, so that's one. And then we have Paris's birth certificate, which he didn't sign at all. Okay, Debbie signed it. Okay. There's no Michael signature on Paris's. So if Paris thought she was a shoo-in, maybe not, right? So Paris, Michael, Catherine Jackson. So her name is supposed to be correct. But he didn't sign her death certificate. Her birth certificate. God, if I've been saying death certificate, please forgive me. Right? Just the mother signed it. Okay? And then the father is Michael Joseph Jackson. But that's not his name. I'm telling you guys, there's all kinds of weird stuff. And then there's BG's birth certificate where there's no mother or father signature on it, I believe. I have another one. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm showing you guys all my stuff. All right. Oh, here it is. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. Okay, so let's make it a little bigger. This is supposed to be BG's birth certificate. Prince Michael Jackson II, right? And it says the father's name is Michael Joseph Jackson, but there's no signatures on this. Not even a doctor signed it. And there's no mother listed, right? That he was born in San Diego, La Mesa, San Diego. And where the mother is, it's blank. It's just all crazy. And he was supposed to be born in February 21st, 2002, right? So March is 1 month later, and you don't put your children's names in the trust. You don't, wait, and then we go back to the trust, and Debbie Rowe's name's in there though. But in 95, so he went and added in Debbie Rowe's name, make sure you don't give her nothing, but didn't put in Paris, Prince, and Blanket's name in it. I'm telling you, it's just all just convoluted, messed up. Giovanni Jackson birth certificate. Oh, I didn't know I had Giovanni Jackson's birth certificate. Let's see. Joseph Walter Jackson. Here it is. You know, here is Giovanni's birth certificate. Right here. I didn't release this online. This is online. Oh, Peter did. Peter Medani did. He released it. Peter Michael Bobby released it. Okay? So Joseph Walter Jackson. Okay? And there's the mother. And Joe didn't sign this. I don't see Joe's signature on here. Okay, but the mother, Cheryl Terrell, she's on here. I'm just saying. It's just all just so bizarre. Okay, I just showed you guys that because it kind of showed up in my files, right? And let's see. So let's go back to at issue means bloodline. So, well, I mean, what the heck? What the heck? You see, so you guys know why I have put off on this, because it's so weird and so ambiguous and just with so much stuff that's just confusing. Like just too many games, just too much. And I think that's because Michael wanted to make sure, like Debbie Rowe, for example, a few years ago, she wanted to get custody of Paris and Prince. Prince said, no, thank you. Paris was down for it because Paris wants to be connected with her mother, right? And Debbie, for all we know, is the mother, but it says without children. I don't know. And so here is somebody, a person that's saying that how do you deal with ambiguity in a will and in a trust, right? Okay, how do you deal with ambiguity, right? And it says it's not the executor's job to correct an error or clarify an ambiguity. So John Bronca and John McClain don't get a vote in that. That's completely out of bounds. And executors have to carry out directions as they are expressed. And if there is ambiguity, then it is incumbent on the executor to make an application to the court to get that issue determined. So the judge, I'm trying to turn this around. So the judge has to decide what to do with all this ambiguity. And then I looked up errors. What if there's errors? And they say the judge, again, has to figure out what to do, how to weigh it, how not to weigh it, which way to weigh it. But I mean, golly, Michael, gee whiz. I mean, okay, hold on. I mean, gosh, where's my trust? Here it is. Okay, so let me look up Rowe. Hold on, Debbie Rowe. She is, it just doesn't work on this document. Okay, but she's in here. Okay, Debbie Rowe's name is in here. But he didn't bother to put Paris, Prince, and Blanket's name in here? And BG's name in here, excuse me? I'm just saying, you guys, I think this is just more proof that Michael faked his death, because I don't think that he, would leave it just so willy-nilly and so out of sorts, out of sorts. It's a craziness, hey, and I've been feeling bad about it, and been like kind of hesitant to even talk about it, because some fans would be like, think it's my fault since I'm the messenger. And I'm just talking about it, and I'm just bringing up obvious facts here. I'm just bringing up obvious facts, You know, I'm looking for Debbie Rowe's name in this. But he did put in, don't give Debbie Rowe nothing. But why would you add that in there and not add in the kids' names? And at issue is a bloodline, but their beneficiaries on one and here, and I purposely omitted to provide for my heirs, and Debbie's divorce and Michael's without minor children, and it's just like, what the heck? Should be simple, clear, easy. Simple, clear, easy. And I believe Michael did that because he's not dead. And he didn't want anybody to think that they were a shoo-in to get his money so that they can act a fool. Because I remember at one point, there was an altercation between Paris and Janet. You guys remember. Okay, and Janet went to the house. I think they were looking for Catherine, and Catherine was really in Arizona with Reby. But they couldn't find him, and Marlon was a complete mess, complete torn apart. He's mama. We love his mama. Okay, Marlon, there you can find a video of him just boo-hooing looking for his mother, right, at that time. And there was an altercation, and Paris said, this ain't no Jackson house. Like, get out of here, Janet, you know. And it was really, really rude. Well, honey, that's probably why Michael made it ambiguous about who's getting money and who's not, so that none of this type of shenanigans would happen. Okay? Now, I was going to say who was going to get money and who was not. Oh, my God. Let's see. Oh, I was going to say something so important there. I'm looking for Debbie Rowe where he says in the trust. We know in the will he says don't give Debbie Rowe nothing. But it's also in the trust. Okay? Not to give Debbie Rowe anything. Yeah. I mean, golly. You know. So nobody, you don't get too big on your britches. Oh, Debbie Rowe was going to ask for custody. Okay? Of the children. It was a few years ago. And her and Mark Schaffel were going to get married. Mark Schaffel was a gay porn producer. Yes, I covered the Mark Schaffel versus Michael Jackson trial, right? And in that trial, Mark Schaffel is the one that was responsible for getting Michael a kid. I read reports that it was supposed to be a kid from Brazil, but instead they brought back BG, who's supposed to be from Argentina. That was under oath testimony by Mark Schaffel and then backed up by Al Malnick. I met them in court. I went to that court. I covered that case. And I was like, oh my God. I came home and I told Ramon to tell Michael that it came out in the court documents that BG is from Argentina, and that Mark Schaffel went and got the BG, right? So Mark Schaffel also was a part of the What More Can I Give video, and then Michael found out he was a porn producer, and it just kind of messed Michael up because What More Can I Give is a charity song, and being a porn producer is kind of like it don't match. That's what Michael said in a deposition. It don't match. Okay, so they fell out over that because it's kind of like, but anyway, Debbie and Mark remained friends. So they had cooked up, in my opinion, a scheme to try to get more of Michael's money. So they were going to try to adopt or get custody of Paris and Prince. Prince didn't want anything to do with it, but Paris did. And then all of a sudden, Debbie drops it. She drops. She don't want to do it anymore. Did she all of a sudden discover the ambiguity in the will and the trust and who are beneficiaries and who's going to get money and who didn't? So then she was just like, never mind. I don't know. But she dropped it. I don't know if she was paid off. I have no idea, but she dropped it. Okay. And was it because there was nothing to get? I'm just saying. And then there was the Catherine versus AEG trial, right? Catherine Jackson, and it was supposed to be Catherine, Paris, Prince, and BG that were suing AEG for the wrongful death of Michael. Well, AEG was saying, okay, you want to play ball? We got proof that the kids aren't Michael's. Oh my God, remember that? And the judge said, you know what, we're not getting into that right now because there's no settlement and there's no verdict. So it's an irrelevant point at this time. And so unless Catherine and the children win, then we'll discuss that. But right now, during the trial, we're not going to go into that. But that was a part of it as well. So what did they discover? I'm just wondering. Okay. So where is the Debbie Rowe? Debbie Rowe's name's in here somewhere. And it's a long document, guys. Let me show you guys how long this trust is. Okay. And it was March 1995 when it was first written, and then it was amended and redacted. Okay, see? November 1st, 1995. Okay, so this is long, and then it was redacted. See, and everybody's names, like certain names, are in capitals, right? Here it is. The trustee's marriage to Debbie Jean Rowe has been dissolved, and trustor has intentionally made no provisions for her hereunder, nor under the terms of his last will. So there it is right there. So he added in that paragraph, not to get Debbie anything, because this is redacted, right? But why didn't he say, and my children are Paris, Prince, and BG? He did not. He did not. So I guess it's just to keep people in check, to say, hey, you ain't a shoo-in, this is mine. Until I say something, or until I really died, nobody gets anything. Okay? And nobody is entitled to anything. Okay? Now, except for Catherine. I believe Catherine divvies out money to people in the family that need it, right? Because she is the only clear, unambiguous person. Now, there's Lavelle, Elijah, and Anthony was trying to get some money at one point a few years ago as well, right? And I don't know what happened, but they are entitled to some equal shares, but it's supposed to be, let's read it together. Okay, if the Michael Jackson Relatives Trust is established hereunder, the trustee shall divide the trust estate into equal shares for the benefit of Lavon, Elijah, Anthony, Taj, Terrell, and TJ. If any of them are no longer living when the Michael Jackson Relatives Trust is established hereunder, his or her share shall augment equally to the shares being held for others. So they're a part of the subsidiary after the Michael Jackson Family Trust. Then there is the Michael Jackson Relatives Trust, okay? And then there's the Children's Fund, where he's giving some money to certain charities, okay? So it's just all, look, this is a long document. See all this? It's a long document. And then he signs it, Michael Joseph Jackson, March 22nd, 2002. So, anyway, guys, yeah, it is very confusing. Absolutely confusing. Okay? Absolutely. And I think that adds to Michael's not dead. That's my conclusion of why he would do something like that. Okay? And then, he's allowed to leave his money to Paris, Prince, and Blanket, even if they're not blood children. Okay? Because at issue means bloodline. Okay? And we have no proof that they've been adopted. We have Debbie giving custody to the children. There was a Debbie Rowe document. Hold on. Debbie Rowe. Let me see if I have that. Custody. Rowe custody. Let me look that up. Rowe custody. Here it is, right here. Rowe gives up custody. Did. Okay. That's recently. That's after the 2005. Here it is. Paris Jackson custody battle. Mom Debbie Rowe gives up fight against Jackson family. Rowe is no longer fighting for custody for her daughter Paris. According to a new report, Debbie only filed against the Jackson family last April after the now 16-year-old tried to commit suicide in 2013. Nearly 4 years after her father, Michael Jackson, died from cardiac arrest. I thought it was propofol intoxication. Okay. The Debbie Rowe document, I have it somewhere. Let me just look up Rowe. I do have the Debbie Rowe, the Debbie Rowe document somewhere. Let's see. Only thing I have, Debbie admitting the kids aren't Michael's. Here we are. I have this document. It's some article. Oh, this is what I was saving stuff, and I wasn't really good at saving stuff. But she says, here it is right here. Rose said there was a shotgun wedding. He wanted to pretend they were a family. She was 37 and pregnant, and he was 38. The best man was an 8-year-old boy. That was Anthony, I believe, his cousin Anthony. I think it was Anthony, or Levon, or Elijah's, one of them. We never lived together as a couple. We never had sex. He was on the road doing his thing. And that's very true, because Debbie Rowe testified in the 2005 trial that they didn't have sex. And I heard her under oath. I was in the courtroom. He never wanted to live with me. That's why he bought me a house. There was always my house and his house, never our house. These are quotes, okay? We would jump in bed together and read magazines and watch movies with all the animals around us before the kids were involved. We used to hang out with each other. But that was his life. That's Michael. That was what it was like. Rose said she was never cut out to be a mother. Quote, I was no good. I was no good. I don't want these children in my life. My children are my animals now. I mean, Britain former child actor Mark Lester, who made a fool of himself in that World's Most Unexplained, who was godfather of the Prince in Paris, has indicated he would be happy to assume guardianship. However, the Jackson family lawyer Brian Oxman has already indicated that any court decision would probably be made in favor of Mother Catherine. Okay. Let's see. Let me look at some more Roe stuff. Okay. What else do I have? Debbie Rowe engaged. I changed my mind. Okay, she was supposed to marry. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. She was supposed to marry Mark Lester. I mean, not Mark Lester. Mark Schaffel. Okay, here it is. Here's
why
something.
did you change your heart, Debbie?
I had gone into the hospital before, and they were worried about cancer, and I didn't feel that I could say yes, knowing that going in to that. So now I don't have cancer, and I'm excited, and so I'm getting married.
When did you find out? That's great news. When did you find out that you were cancer-free?
Yesterday morning, I went to see Dr. Fuller, and he said, "You're good. You're good to go."
So you then decided, okay, I'm okay. I'm going to marry him.
Yeah, I drove up to the house, and I said, "Okay, I'm here, and I'm going to be here for a while, so I'm going to marry you."
Mark Schaffel has a long history, or had a long history with Michael Jackson. They were business partners. They were friends. Why Mark Schaffel?
I met Mark when he was working with Michael, and we just remained friends. And he's helped me with a lot of things. And friendships sometimes turn into relationships, and that's what happens.
So are you going to, I know you live in Palmdale. You have a horse ranch. Mark seems like a city feller. Oh, good acres we have, don't you?
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
So when he does come out to the ranch, he's like, "Okay, well, I'll just sit here and do work." And it's perfect. You do your work, I'm going to go out with the horses. And then we hang out in the evening. He does stay in LA more than I will go to LA, because I don't like to travel. I like to stay home and go to horse shows.
Do the kids have a relationship with Mark?
Yeah, they've known him since they were little. And they like him a lot.
So when are you getting married?
We haven't set a date. You know, I'm happy with just how things are. It takes me a while to get used to things. So we'll take it a little bit at a time.
Speaking of the kids, how's Paris doing?
Everybody's good. You know, baby steps.
Baby steps. I can read between the lines.
Yeah.
So, well, no date set, but you're definitely marrying Mark Chappell. So it was all about, making sure that your health was okay.
Right. I mean, you can't say, I have cancer and this is going to be love story. It's not the 60s anymore. You have to be responsible.
Okay, well, look, congratulations, Debbie.
Thank you so much, Harvey.
Okay. All right. So, I have so much stuff saved, guys. I have so much stuff saved. It's incredible. So Debbie, she did have cancer after all, later on after this, and she did not marry Mark Chappell. And that was just, I believe, then soon after that, she wanted to get custody, and then all of a sudden, nothing worked out. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, it's just all craziness. Where is that one Debbie Rowe court document? There's some kind of court document, and I'll see if I can find it. I'm putting in Roe, maybe, and it's not coming up. It's not coming up, so I don't know where it is. Sometimes it's on hard drives and stuff because I have so much. But, yeah, Debbie Rowe gave Michael guardianship or custody of the kids around 2001, I think. Roe 2001. Oh, maybe, nope, I don't have it. Document. Let's see. Nope. Document. Nope. Court filing. Maybe it's court. Let's see. Court. Debbie Rowe. Nope. That's divorce case. Okay. So if I can find it, I will give it to you. But, this is all just so, wild and so confusing and so ambiguous and so wrong, And that's because Michael's, and I really believe that that's what Michael is saying. Hold your horses, you better behave, okay? Because nobody's guaranteed, except for my mama, okay, to get my money. And that, and then somebody asked Taj. I know TJ. He does real estate, and I wonder if he brokered the deal. He was the actual agent with the Ron Burkle, Neverland, Sycamore Valley Ranch property. I wonder if he was the real estate agent with that, because he does have a real estate license. And I believe he's a broker too, or he works under his friend or something like that. I wonder. I don't know who sold the house. But TJ does do that, and TJ does music, and, he works, but somebody asked Taj, what do you do for money? What's your job? And he said he's a musician, but we know that their musician ain't paying bills for family and houses and, cars and all that stuff. Their heyday was 20 years ago, as far as 3T is concerned, right? So I wonder if money is being distributed out of, because if Anthony, Levon, Elijah, Taj, Terrell, and TJ are getting some money already. I don't know. Also, you would have to be a certain age. I hope I didn't close it. You had to be, it was under the discretion to be 21, but then you had to be 30, 35, and 40 in order to get some money. And we know that Paris, Prince, and BG aren't 30, 35, and 40, so Michael still has time. The house that Prince was living in, I heard through a Jackson source that he no longer lives there, because that was just a house that the state was renting for him while he was in college. And now that he's not in college, he doesn't get the house, and I think he's back in the Calabasas house. That's what I believe, okay? That's what I heard. Okay? Let's see if I've went through everything. If I went through everything. Yeah, I think I did go through everything. Let me look at these documents here. and see if I went through everything. Yep, I went through everything. So I'm going to see if you guys have, because I caught a couple of good comments. Let's see. Now, I just reported to you guys the facts that I've seen and I've researched myself, and I've been dealing with this confusion for years. Going, what the heck? What the heck? What the heck? Because everybody that's seen Michael with the kids said it was a wonderful relationship. So, you know, and loving and all this other stuff. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? So the only thing I think he's doing is he wants to keep everything, because Paris has even said my father's estate. You know, she's called the estate Michael's estate, you know. And, nope, that's it. I'm still confused. Well, it is confusing. Anything new at Havenhurst? I've driven by Havenhurst, and it looks the same. I don't see anything change, anything different with Havenhurst. The estate still owns it as far as the 8th accounting showed. The 9th accounting is overdue. But then, you know, the case says that the probate was dismissed in 2018. So I don't know, guys. Things are just so, like, if I go to LA court right now, okay, let's go to LA court, and I'm going to show you guys something. And then I got to go. Oh, my God, I got to go now. Let me just do this LA court real quick. Okay. Okay. lacourt.org. And it says the estate was dismissed in 2018. So it's kind of like, what the heck? And then, but still things are going on. Why would an estate be dismissed? It would be closed or settled or something. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you guys. I've showed you guys this before. This is the estate. Dismissed. What do you mean dismissed? Look at that. Dismissed. Okay. And then if you want to see the documents, and as of 6/15/2018, so then you go here. I got to go. I have to go somewhere, and they close at 5, so I have somewhere to go. I have to be somewhere in, 40 minutes. Okay. Let's see. So now you just sign in as guest. Here. Okay. Here. All right. So, and then look what it says. When the filing date to probate was before the death announcement, and they didn't fix that ever? Isn't that supposed to be 6/29/2009 instead of 5/20? I'm just saying. Always something wrong. My God, I've never seen so much incompetence in my life unless it's on purpose. We're talking about the best of the best in the world that Michael can pay for. And all these just ambiguities, double talk, wrong names, wrong information, Anyway, the 8th accounting is being approving 8th accounting, so that we don't have the 9th accounting, and the 8th accounting was 2017. So, hold on. Okay, I gotta go. Anyway, I gotta go. If I think of something else, maybe there'll be a part 2 to this, and I'll take your questions and everything, and if you guys want to help me try to figure it out, I'm down for that. I'm down for you guys just kind of giving me some feedback and figuring it out. All right. Don't forget to go on michaeljacksoninsider.com, and also the Roku, Michael Jackson Roku channel. All right. Okay. Michael Jackson Insider Roku channel. All right. Bye, guys.